Hello, everyone. We're back again. We've got another episode here of RK Football Talk. And guess what? It is the end of the transfer window. It has now shut. And there has been a lot of transfer activity. For me, thank God it's shut because I can't stand it when the transfer window's open because you still get all these rumours when players are playing in the competitive games. So I'm glad to see the end of it. And I think one team that's glad to see it, the end of it is Newcastle United. It has now been announced that Newcastle United have sold Isak to Liverpool for a British record fee of 125 million. Stuart, do you want to start?
Yeah, I have to admit with this one, I wasn't expecting it to because obviously it's been up and down for like the entire summer transfer window. I was like, because obviously never thought it would happen, and then obviously like last couple of days, I was thinking, nah, it won't happen. What would happen is they'll just sit on the bench for a year, and then we'll get him at some point. But yeah, wake up this morning with the nice news that obviously done 25 million. Pretty ecstatic right now, to be honest. I mean, the idea that we've got was a Hugo Ekitike that started the season really well, and then obviously now Isak's now there. It's like our strike force has just gone from being quite great to unbelievable. So yeah, I'm so happy with it. I mean, yeah, it's interesting with Newcastle because I think if they have just done this earlier, they would have had this money earlier, and they wouldn't have had this panic buy situation. Would you think?
No, I disagree. I disagree with that completely because I think that they wanted to know that a striker was there for ready for when Isak was going to go, and I think if they signed Hugo Ekitike, who some other teams stole off them, if they signed Shesko or if they signed João Pedro, if they signed one of those players, I think that Newcastle would have then probably gone, yeah, now you can go. It's just because they didn't secure it until, as we saw, until like literally the last couple of days.
Yeah, and there was definitely a lot of he said this, he said that kind of gentleman's agreement, this or that, what wasn't agreed, what was possibly agreed or not agreed behind the scenes. There was a little bit of that. I don't think there was any way that you mentioned, Stu, about is it possible that this might possibly fall through, this Isak transfer? But I don't think. I mean, especially the way he's been conducting himself at Newcastle. I mean, look, when you refuse to train, that's kind of the beginning of the end, isn't it? Especially with your relationship with the fans as well. Once they see that you've kind of given up and you're kind of going to force your way out of the club to get your dream move at a big club, or a bigger club. Like Liverpool, it was always going to happen. But once you conduct yourself like that, so it was just a matter of when, not if, for me. But yeah, 125 million. I think last season, towards the end, I think I predicted that he would go to somewhere like Arsenal or Liverpool for about 150. So it was 25 million off. But still.
Dig for the archives for that. We'll dig for the archives for that one. Go back and see it. Go now, like get there and like I'll clip it in here saying he did say it.
Yes, 150 million. I believe that was the initial offer. Something like that was being put together by Liverpool, but obviously Newcastle have accepted 125, which is good for them. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I mean, like you rightly said, Ekitike has had a very good start to the season as well as the other attacking players. Mo Salah's been a bit. He's had a slow start to the season, but it'll be interesting to see when Isak comes in and how that kind of shift, how he'll shift around his forward line, Arnie Slot. So it'll be interesting to see.
This forward line that Liverpool now have, would it be safe to say it
best in the league?
Paper, it is not only just the best in the league, but it's on par with some of the best front lines that we've seen in the Premier League era. Because if Isak got injured, Ekitike can play there, and it's not like from what we've seen so far this season. There's not really a drop off too much. And then they've got obviously Wirtz who can play in the more advanced as well.
He can play. Wirtz can play on the left. He can play a false nine, and he can basically play all the positions at the front.
Exactly. And I actually will go and say that I did say that Arsenal will win the league at the beginning of the season. I think now with the signing of Isak, and if Gahey goes through as well, I do have to say it does look very.
Stick with Arsenal, Matt. Stick with Arsenal. That's what I'm going to do. I'm sticking with Arsenal, but obviously,
Arsenal because I would love to see Liverpool spend all this money and come second.
Yeah, that would be funny.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
But,
I see.
yeah.
I see. Well, I mean, don't be like Gary. Don't be like Gary Neville. You know,
You have had
just
your
stick with it for
title.
3 years.
It would be rather amusing,
You
breaking
would-
the British transfer record feat and not win the league anyway.
Exactly.
But it's difficult. I mean, they are looking so strong now. I mean, 3 wins out of 3. I mean, we can go over the result of the weekend, I guess, the game against Arsenal, but they are looking good. But yeah, I don't know. I assume you watched the match of the weekend, Stu, against Arsenal.
Of course. I mean, obviously, it was one of those games that just like I was going a bit nervous because obviously, as I said, first 2 games would have been a bit, it's been a bit, shaky. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I think it was Matt said it. Knowing our luck, it'd be a 0-0 draw, and I was like, what happens if you got that right? He's like, he's totally called that one. But
yeah,
Genius, it would have been.
but Szoboszlai was like, you know what? I feel like having a 30 yards free kick.
What a free kick! Good God.
I mean, very Steven Gerrard-esque, I would say. Very Steven Gerrard-esque, outside the box. Beautiful free kick.
I think that Liverpool. I think after the first 2 games, they felt maybe I don't know what it was, but they seemed to be a bit more like they kept their shape a bit better in the entire game. There was not a point where they looked too vulnerable, which they did against Newcastle and Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And I have to say, and this is my only concern with Arsenal if they are to win the league, they've got to take more. They have to be risk-taking to win the league. The only time I ever saw a player do anything like that in that game was Eze. That was it.
Yeah.
And it was towards the end. And you've got to go for it because Liverpool are a fantastic team. You have to break them down by forcing them. You can't just expect there to come spaces.
Yeah. Eze did play well. Madueke, I think, had a fantastic game as well, especially in the absence of Saka. I mean, he was really effectual. He looked very. Absolutely.
Only one that looked like it was ever going to get anything like the score.
Yeah, he was dangerous and pace and everything. There, he looked really good. But and there was definitely a period, especially in that first half, where Liverpool were a little bit flat. The crowd was flat. Where, like you said, Matt, Arsenal really should have capitalised that and sort of gone in for the kill there. I suppose you could you argue, Stu, that Liverpool, that 3 wins from 3 in the league, so you can't really ask for much more. But you could argue that they've kind of almost not scraped the wins, but they've gotten the wins despite the fact that in those 3 games they've had long periods of not looking very, very convincing.
I mean, it's obviously again, it might be a lot of things. It might be a lot to do because obviously, again, new team and all that, and obviously a little bit of injuries and stuff. But I think just again, it's the glass half empty, glass half full argument where I could sit there and say, well, we've conceded 4. Was it 4 goals? What was it? 4 goals in 3? Was it 3 games? That looks a bit defensively. Or I can sit there and say, well, it just shows that we've got this grit that when things aren't going our way, we've always got this belief that we can still get a win. I mean, I think I'm not too worried because obviously, again, it's like situations.
No, I wouldn't be worried, but
I'm early on in the season. You kind of, as much as people want performances and go. It's you want to get as much points as, like, if we're getting 9 points out of 9 and not playing great. What's going to happen when we click?
I'd like that, but
You wonder how. What I'm most curious by is how is Isak going to fit into this lineup, and all the big name players in that squad all going to be happy because Ekitike has had a good start to the season. Like, he's now going to be shifted over to the side. Let's be honest. Like,
I don't think it'd be so bad because obviously I think I get what you're trying to say because obviously it is the argument saying it's like I always love when it says that it's a big problem. So I got too many great players. Like, that's never a problem. They find a way to make it work. But I think
he's so like don't care, does he? He's like he's just
they have a good squad depth, and he's like as if they've always had it.
As a Liverpool fan that has gone through transfer windows when we've signed some pretty shocking players.
Bring back David and Gog. Bring back David and Gog. In my eyes.
Or I'm trying to think of another shocking one. Anyway,
Andre Boronin.
Yeah, he was okay. Yeah, he's pretty bad. but no, it's just I think it was Hugo Ekitike, it's like he kind of drifts on the left anyway, so it kind of works. That's kind of why it kind of all that collectedness on the left. And again, it means we've got more like we can go more like different fronts now, because obviously now like the reason that we got knocked out in Champions League, we got the League Cup defeat to Newcastle is because we ran out eventually, we kind of ran out of like steam. But now we've got the squad depth to kind of like maybe go for maybe a couple more competitions, but yeah, but I'm over the moon, to be fair. I can't sit there and say it's been like terrible. Like with the strike force we're going to have, it's going to be exciting to watch this season. I've got to be honest.
Okay, all right. But I think that obviously there is one transfer at this precise moment in time while we are recording. The transfer has not been fully confirmed yet, but there is Mark Gahey to also join Liverpool as well. It does look like it's going to happen.
Oh, it's done. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to happen. It does look done. I actually think after seeing Liverpool play so far this season, Gahey is a bigger signing than what Isak is for Liverpool this season.
More needed, yeah.
Yes. But the big question is that do Liverpool now just go, okay, right, we've got a big squad. When you look at this squad, it's probably the best squad they've had in a very, very long time. Probably better than Jurgen Klopp's sides that won the league and the Champions League.
Yeah.
More depth.
Is it too outlandish to expect a European double?
I mean,
is that is the expectation you could ask for from this team with that depth they've got in this team? Is that not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that idea. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't want us to win
against it.
The league and the Champions League.
Yes, please.
But I think it's one of those things. Because obviously, whenever they come, how many was it quadruple talks we've had for the last couple of years? Every time, just because we're all in it, and everyone brings it up. But ironically, with Liverpool, it's always the league. Get the league, and then the other ones will follow. If you get the European Cup and the league, that'd be great. But it's the league we want. But I think with the squad depth we've bought, it's more like we've gone, you know what, we want to go for maybe actually be a bit more competitive in the Champions League and go for that. I think that's why we're getting the squad depth, I think, because we want proper push for the Champions League.
Well, then I've got a question for you then. All the transfers, Gahey goes through, Isak's gone through, all the transfers you've made this summer and the squad you already had. What is your minimum expectations from this season?
Oh yeah, put the pressure on. I see.
No, I want to know now.
Yeah, okay.
Me too.
There's got to be a point where you go, oh, that's not acceptable with the money we spend. So, what is your minimum expectation here?
I mean, as a Liverpool fan that has watched so many other teams win leagues and back to back, it's at least the win the Premier League probably would have been the minimum. I mean, because again, it's the point of what I'm liking about this transfer window is because it's first time in a long time when Liverpool being on top and they've gone, you know what? No, we've got to build to stay on top. And I think what I like about if like example Isak, Gahey, Wirtz, Ekitike, all these kind of players, like it's basically to sit there and say we won the league last year and we want to win it again and again and again. And I think that's what I think with this kind of sign, like we want to win. Yeah, I would say the league. We need to win the league. That's the minimum, I think.
Would you rather, Stu? Sorry, Stu. I was going to say, would you rather win the Premier League or win a treble of the Champions League, FA Cup, and League Cup?
Oh, a cup treble.
A cup treble.
Has that ever been done?
I reckon it has done. Not a lot, but I reckon
it's another one we have to look for now.
I mean, just because again, I think it's because obviously I've seen this win all like I was like, it's the league for me. I would
prefer the Premier. Yeah.
It's just because I know some people like say, well, I would like Champions League. Like Champions League's great. Want to win that again? Yeah, that'd be great. But league always for Liverpool. It's always the league. If you have a season where we win the league and that's only trophy, we'd be happy campers at Liverpool. So yeah, league.
They're like especially to go one ahead of United as well. That'll be one other incentive.
That is true.
Oh, but I wasn't going to mention it.
Yeah, well, I did. So.
Well, one thing I did see from all of this spending that all the teams have done in the Premier League. Now there are 8 Premier League teams that make up the top 10 spenders in European football.
Wow.
8 of them make up the top spenders. Now, obviously, Liverpool do top it, as you can suspect.
I mean, yeah.
Who do you reckon the some of the other teams are in there?
So-
Like they're from the Premier League. You'd have to try and get the
Sunderland are one of them.
no,
Is it not?
Chelsea definitely in there.
not in there.
I tried to throw the curveball right away. United.
Yeah, United are one of them, so that's 2.
City.
Chelsea.
City are 8th
Ooh.
out of them.
Arsenal.
Did you say Chelsea? Yeah, Chelsea is 2nd. Arsenal are 3rd.
Who else bought
Top-
loads of players?
One
I
of
Tottenham.
them,
I don't think it's been a lot.
What did you say just then?
I said Tottenham, but they haven't spent that much, have they?
Tottenham
No.
are in there actually. They're
Are they?
6th. Yeah, they're 6th. They've spent more
Oh,
than
okay.
City. And there's 2 other teams. One of which has been big in this transfer window, and the other one has gone quietly under the radar. I personally think with how much.
Brentford.
No, good
Oh,
lord, you think they trust Keith Andrews that much?
I was just thinking of the players they lost. They had a bit of money to spend. I don't know. Yeah.
It's going to bug me now.
So the other
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, no. So the other 2 teams are Newcastle United, who spent 200 million this transfer window, and the other team is actually Nottingham Forest.
Oh, Nottingham Forest.
We shouldn't be surprised at that, should we? Like
Yeah.
that's pretty much what they do.
Yeah, but the other teams that are 9th and 10th in this is Bayer Leverkusen and Atletico Madrid.
By Leverkusen, yeah, because they lost a bunch of players in the summer, and
Yeah.
I think they broke their record twice this summer to bring players in.
I mean, that's not even talking about the idea that the manager just got sacked 2 games
I
into
know.
the season. But
I know.
games.
I know. I just
Oh,
think that.
Eric, what are you doing? Oh,
so basically,
dear me.
spent all that money, lost all them players, and spent all that money all adding up, and then they got with the manager 2 games in. It's mental.
That is a bit of a bizarre decision. After 2 games, and it's the Bundesliga record for the fewest amount of games before a manager sacked.
Yeah.
It does seem a bit harsh. He got 1 point from 2 games. I think one of them they had a lead twice, and then they lost it. But still, that's a bit crazy, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah, it is. But I think it's safe to say we are now in an era where the Premier League is not only the most entertaining league, it is now got the best. It's got back to the best league in the world again. But because of the amount of money that the team spend.
Well, yeah, I mean they've always been the biggest spenders, the Premier League clubs, haven't they?
Yeah.
So it's actually not a massive surprise that the majority of the big spenders each transfer window typically are Premier League clubs, especially the top 6.
True. Yeah. But do you think that teams like Nottingham Forest, when you see a team like that in there, and like Newcastle United, now they're amongst those teams, it's very interesting that they are now being able to spend that sort of money.
Absolutely. It's good to see. But I would say the caveat is you can spend all you like, especially when you've got a billionaire owner. You can spend, but unless you spend well, then I don't think it really counts for much. If you spend 200-300 million in the summer and you end up going down, or you don't have a particularly good season, then well, who cares? I mean, just spending money for the sake of it. You want to spend wisely, right? And see the fruits of your labor come the end of the season.
Well, what you say there actually brings me on very nicely to our next point. Like you are right, teams can't spend all that sort of money and like guarantee that they won't get relegated. A good example would be Manchester United. They spent 208.4 million. That does not include the signing of this goalkeeper that they are as well. But obviously they did get their first win on the weekend, albeit very, very fortunate.
Jesus Christ! I could win. I can't even remember now. There was a couple of instances in that game. I think Bruno's one was just, but there was 1 or 2 other decisions in that where I thought, well, that could really go either way. But yeah, that Bruno penalty, I was watching it and I was thinking, because there were rumblings coming out of the club before the match that Amorim had made 1 or 2 very spiky interviews where I think one of them he said, sometimes I love my players, sometimes I hate them, sometimes I it's like, well, and look, we know him now at this stage. We know him well enough to know that he's usually quite, he has quite a lot of candor in these interviews. Like he is quite candid, sometimes to his own detriment. I think. But anyway, and I was thinking when Bruno got this penalty. Well, first of all, I was thinking, especially after last week, well, don't miss this, Bruno. If you blast this one over the bar, then you and I, then I'll fight you or something. I don't know. I mean, really, Bruno. If you end up missing this as well to win anyway, but he scored. But I did think and again, just to go back to these rumblings of Amorim. Apparently there was unnamed officials from within the club saying that Amorim really isn't happy and that there are players in the dressing room who don't like his man management style, don't like the way he plays his three at the back, and that Amorim could potentially walk during the international break, which is next week. So all of this was coming out, and all United need to do was come out and get a win against Burnley, which, as you said, they just about did. But when Bruno was set up to take that, I was thinking, is this penalty kick going to determine whether or not our manager stays at the club? I think it would have done. I really think if United didn't get a win here and ended up with a 2-2 draw, I think it would have been. I don't think it would have been a guarantee that Amorim would have walked. But all of the noise is coming out of the club, and he got that kiss of death. Owners coming out to back the manager, which is always a kiss of death.
Yeah,
he got that after the bloody Grimsby, Jesus. But
you know what?
but look,
I wanted to speak to you.
But no, we're not talking about Grimsby. We don't need to talk about Grimsby.
Is it ironic that Matt's wearing a kind of Grimsby type top on right now?
Yeah.
Pure coincidence, I think. No.
But just to come back to Burnley, I mean, I do think now that the writing's on the wall. I don't think Amorim is going to be our long-term manager. I think even if you look at his body language on the sideline,
I mean,
he looks half the time he's not even watching the match. He's looking into his lap. He's staring into space. He looks like he'd rather be anywhere else apart from there. He doesn't look like he's enjoying himself one bit. And sometimes his post-match interviews show this much. But I think it's a matter of time now, to be honest. I don't think he can get much more out of this side, really. That's
he's not happy because obviously if you look at when Bruno Fernandes scored that penalty, it's like he
looks
up on the
just whatever. Yeah, no, he didn't look as if.
It usually takes like a couple of years for Man United to break managers, but it took this guy for
and I mean
6 months, a couple
of
months.
And similar is to Ten Hag, give him a bucket of cash to spend in the summer and then sack him before Christmas. And we've done a similar thing with Amorim. Again, it's difficult to say, but I mean, the performances are not looking. Some of his decision making, I don't understand. Kind of changing, subbing defenders every single game. I don't know why we can't keep our back three or back five consistent with each game. He's constantly bringing off Yarrow, bringing on Maguire for a last minute winner. Shaw gets subbed quite a bit, and now Cunha's injured. And when I thought, oh great, well Sesko will get an earlier. We'll get some. We'll get on earlier than he might have thought. And then I see Joshua Zirkzee coming on the pitch, and I went, oh, you're not still here, are you? You're not still at the club, for God's sake. I thought I'd seen the end of you. Jesus, Xerxes. I was like, where's Sesko? Why on earth is Sesko not coming on the pitch? It seems ideal. Cunha off, Sesko on.
The season's broke you already, mate. It's like only 3 games
Christ,
in.
I couldn't believe when I saw that mop jogging onto the pitch, and I went, oh no, not this fella again.
How is it that you've won and you're still ranting?
I'm still on a rant. I know, I'm still on a rant. That just shows you how bad I don't know. There were fewer positives from this match that we won than there were against Arsenal in the first opening game season when we lost. There were far fewer. Do you know what I mean? So that's why. Look, 3 points are 3 points. It was a win that needed to happen. I think regardless of performance or anything like that, just needed to get the 3 points, and they did. So,
okay, yeah, I think that if I'm looking at Man United, how much they've spent, and all this sort of stuff, it is now clear after everything they've spent, all the players they've brought in, that there is more going on at the club than it is the actual players now. Because
in
Mbeumo, trying to think of players. Di Maria in the past. All these players have been bought in over the years.
You could list them off, yeah.
Before they went to Man United, and then they were just so poor.
Yeah, Sancho, Pogba. Yeah, I mean, you can list them off. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But again, I think that's almost. I think everyone knows that now. Is that it's not really the players. It seems to be, and I don't quite like the saying, but it seems to be people that refer to it as a cultural problem with the club, because it seems no matter what players they bring in, no matter what managers, the same thing. They've become reliably they're like predictably unpredictable now. United, or they have been for quite some time now. And again, it doesn't really seem to make a difference who they bring in. Players and managers, it's the same old story every season, you know.
Yeah.
Until you get the owners out, like literally, I think that's like literally because.
You could argue Radcliffe has been even more disastrous than the bloody Glazers were, but I don't want to get into all that now. I mean, look, I'll be another 20 minutes, but we'll move on.
We'll put another special. We'll put a special out saying, like, was it Man United?
No, do you know what? I'm sick of ranting. I actually genuinely don't like ranting. I actually prefer talking about positive things. I don't like sitting here moaning. Like some male fella, but anyway.
No, but like we say, Man United did get the win. They're off the mark now, so it is a good sign going into the international break, because it is that sort of result. That's when you want it to happen, because then it's a positive. You're like, right now we need to build upon this. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens there. But obviously, another big signing that is happening as we speak as well is Donnarumma heading to Man City. Now, the reason I wanted to mention this one is because they lost again on the weekend to Brighton, like in a stunning comeback for Brighton.
Didn't see that coming.
They played really well, Brighton, and hats off to them. But does it for me scream that Trafford was never going to be a starting keeper? Like if they're bringing in Donnarumma, because I'm sorry, you've signed him. He was probably sitting there thinking, I'm taking Ederson's place. They get rid of Ederson and now going to bring in, let's be honest, the best goalkeeper in the world.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had a good game, to be fair. Like, obviously, I know they lost, but like he made some pretty good saves, I think, Trafford, in that game. I think he's looked good when it's like as a proper shot stopper. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was like maybe knowing City, it probably was the plan. But then probably like most things, like you hear like Donnarumma's on the marquee, like you can't not try and go for him, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Trafford must be thinking maybe I should have went to Newcastle, because obviously that's why he went to because he went to. He was going to, as we know, obviously went to City. Because I don't know why. Like we're all shocked. Like, why didn't he go to Newcastle? Because he probably would have got more football. But now it looks like if Donnarumma's gone for the door, it's like he's not going to play as much. That seems like it seems like a bad move for him. To be fair,
it screams that his time at City is now going to be spent more on the bench than it is between the sticks. Which is a real shame for him, because where he started off between sticks, yes, he's not had the greatest start at Man City, but it will only get better. We've seen how good he was in the Championship, and with the right coaching, he will only get better. But bringing in Donnarumma, for me, it just says, right, this guy's going to be our main goalkeeper now. And like you say there, if he went to Newcastle, he would have been starting every week and probably would have been for the next couple of years, maybe fighting it with Nick Pope. He would have had a better chance. I just feel Donnarumma, he's that good of a keeper. Once he gets between those sticks, you ain't getting back in.
Yeah, this all seems a little bit clumsy. Do you not think? I mean, am I the only one? I'm still confused as to why Ederson is still not City's starting keeper. I mean, has he fallen out with Pep or something?
Yeah,
or is
he did
for
come
me,
out
still not one of the
it?
best keepers ever. Yeah, I was like, what? And then Trafford comes in. Okay, yeah, he wants to go with a new keeper. Fair enough. And he's had 3 games, and he's already bringing in another keeper. And so, forget about Trafford. What does that mean for Ederson? So does that mean Trafford will be second in the pecking order, and Ederson is what? Has to leave,
unless I'm wrong. Obviously, I did see something a brief that he's gone. I think to Turkey. I think Galatasaray or something.
Yes, moved to Fenerbahce.
Fenerbahce. Oh, okay.
To Ederson.
Yeah.
So like,
right. Okay.
But again, that move came out of nowhere. Just like all of a sudden, it just moved. It's like there's no fanfare, no falling out, no nothing. As you said, like just
one of the best keepers in the league for like the last, since Pep's been there, really. And just all of a sudden, just don't know. Yeah. Strange.
I think that with Ederson, I think he was starting to, like, the injuries started to come in as well. I think the injuries started to come in. His game was becoming a bit more risque, if you will, and I think that's why I think Guardiola was thinking we need to get someone in between the sticks now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Last season, obviously, they were well off the mark. In some ways, he's only 32, so for a goalkeeper, that is still pretty young. I like to think. But will he be a goalkeeper that's still going to hit the standards in the Turkish league? I actually do think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
he will still be able to produce a good performance.
he's still top class. Of course he is.
Yeah,
You know, so,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think there are some goalkeepers out there, and one of them is Donnarumma, that when you make a signing like that, it is now the doors are coming down on your time at Man City. Bye-bye. Sort of thing. They have definitely said that is enough. And like you say, there could have been something that's gone on between Guardiola and the board, whatever it may be. But good luck to him. I hope he does have a good rest of his career. Maybe turn him into a bit of a journeyman. Might see him. I reckon give it 3-4 years and
maybe
we'll
a
see
Wigan or something. Yeah.
No, not Wigan. I'm going to go with he will end up at West Ham United at 36, 37 years old.
Yeah.
Tail end of his career.
He will have travelled around Europe for a while, and then he'll come in for a season,
it's probably more likely he's probably going to go to America. To be fair,
it's probably like we want a journeyman back in the Premier League. Still,
it's fine. I'm just saying that's probably likely. I'm just trying to be the obvious option, but okay.
He'll go there. He'll go there at the end of his career. Seattle Sounders or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has been a very interesting window. But what do you think is actually the biggest signing for your team? Like, okay, so we'll go round. Like, so we'll start with you, David.
Yeah.
Man United, what is the biggest signing that you've made this transfer window? Yeah.
I think it's difficult to split between Mbeumo and Cunha because we needed a wide player, and Cunha I know can play as a striker as a wide player, same as Mbeumo, but we needed a dangerous wide player who could score goals. So I was happy with both of those signings equally, to be honest. But having seen that, well, Onana is obviously on the outs of the manager, and Amorim clearly doesn't like him, and Binder has not had the strongest start to the season. So I think everyone was looking at it go, well, United need a keeper now. Enough about this forward line. So I am happy we bought this fella in from Royal Antwerp, Lamens, this Belgian fella. Never heard of him before. 20 million, but we'll see. So I'm happy that there has been some vision there from the owners to say, well, we need a keeper. Let's kind of let's jump on top of that. So it remains to be seen whether or not he'll be a good addition to the side. United keeper's a big position to kind of hold down consistently, and I would say I'd go between Cunha and Mbeumo, to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Mbeumo.
You're going to go with Mbeumo?
Yeah. He got his goal at the weekend as well. I was happy for him.
Yeah.
I should, again, I said it, didn't I, in the last podcast? I was like, Mbeumo will get a goal.
You did.
I was like, yes, I kept him in my team. Thank God.
Same here. Yes, Brian. Yes, Brian.
I'd actually say I'm not even going to bother asking Stu because there's probably about 5 that he will we'll come to you in a minute, Stu, because you've got about loads to choose from. But I mean, Chelsea do as well, so I can't really say 2. Right? Yeah. But I have to say, for me, I actually would go with João Pedro. I think what a start to the season he's had. He obviously was crucial in us winning the Club World Cup, which is a tournament, and it does count for something. I will keep saying this.
That's fine.
I'll be honest, when we did sign him, I did sit there and think, he played for Brighton. He wasn't hitting he weren't like one of the best strikers in the league. So I'm very surprised we've gone for him over some other options. But so far, so good, and he's fit into the system so well as well. He's got that real strength aerially as well. So from corners, we're now a lot more deadly. I've noticed too. So for me, fantastic signing. Very happy with him. Esteval would be a close second, but I think it depends on how much game time he gets with Cole Palmer in the squad as well. So just have to see there. But very happy. I'm still very annoyed we've not signed a goalkeeper. That for me was the
Donnarumma seems like a better suit. It suits Chelsea. It would suit Chelsea better than it would.
Exactly.
City. Is Donnarumma even that good with his feet? I don't think he is. He doesn't seem like a Guardiola.
Good with his feet, but he's a goalkeeper. He saves. He keeps clean sheets.
He does.
Just won the Champions League. He's won all these trophies. For me, That is what Chelsea need.
Yeah, I'm surprised Chelsea didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
Chelsea would have.
I would have said all these players that we're selling, sign him. That's all I was asking for. Selling Cuckoo, sell all these players you want to sell. Go for it, but get Donnarumma in instead. Don't go for another attacking option. We don't need it. Like, why?
Yeah.
Can someone tell me? This is my rant for today.
Go on.
Someone tell me why we signed Garnacho?
Have him.
Honestly...
Say, did you see him? Did you see him sitting in the stands for the match the other? He's such a little. Oh God, he's such a little knacker. Do you know what? He was good for you. He was good for you. He was consistent enough for the last year or so, but he has just such a rotten looking attitude, doesn't he? He just he brings his cronies with him, and he's just on his phone the whole time, not even watching the match. It's like, oh God, I hate him.
Did you see the statement he put out as well? Like when he signed?
No, I didn't see.
Go on.
He came out. I think he said like he always put 110%. He always played He always played the best football he's ever played. Like he's like no, mate. It's just like he seems like he's that kind of player. It's just like he believes his own hype sometimes.
With your bleach blonde hair, mate, and your awful face, just get But yeah, I don't know. That is a very strange one from Chelsea.
I don't get it because we've sold Nkunku, we've sold João Felix this summer, and we've also sold Madueke, but then we brought in other players who are filling their position. I'm like, if you're selling these players, I get that you're selling them because obviously you make money on them and you business. I get it, but why are you then filling those positions again rather than actually improving that starting 11, which is the thing that's going to make you the most money at the end of the day? But
Although what I would say is, didn't Maresca rather, didn't he have a similarly bloated squad at the beginning of last season, and it turned out to be a really good season for us? The point was like, well, how are all these players going to fit in? It seems like it's
Yes, but then I do feel like the players like Tyreek George, I would have personally given him a bit more game time this season. But now we've just sold him to who did we just sold him to?
Everton?
We just sold him 22 million to somewhere. We have literally
how long?
And Fulham. We've just sold him to Fulham for 22 million, and I'm like, that's a player that is going to become good within the next 3-4 years, and we've let him go.
Yeah. How long is Palmer out for?
Palmer, I don't think he's out for too long. I just think
is he not? So you didn't buy him just to kind of cover form or anything. He's not like it's not a big long.
No, I don't think so. No, but one thing I do want to get into, and this is something that actually did really get on my nerves this weekend, is in the Chelsea game, we won. I'm very happy with the result. We've got 7 points after 3 games. We've had a really good start to the season, so I'm very pleased with the result. But the refereeing again in this league is absolutely dreadful. It is terrible. Like, I am a Chelsea fan through and through, and I love this club. But if any Chelsea fan sits there and says to me that the foul on Chalobah was an actual foul, have a day off. Seriously, have a day off. That is not a foul. It is a contact sport. Get over it.
Yeah.
Was it Munez? Is the player's name, I think? He turns to the ball, beautiful turn the ball, gets the ball going, and it was actually a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
If now VAR going to step in for something like that, get rid of it. Seriously, get rid of it. It is doing my nutting. That is exactly. It's not a foul. No one even thought it was a foul.
Well, no, because he got the ball and they say he turned, but obviously he said, isn't it like stepped on the? I think
he stepped on his foot.
Yeah, but it's like, well, if he's not watching it, it's like sitting there watching.
Yeah, exactly.
The ball.
It's not a foul. I mean, it's not. It's nowhere in a million years is it a foul.
No, it's just they're looking into it. It's like I shared something with Stu earlier. It's like Alan Shearer said, you're supposed to be looking for the clear and obvious errors. What in world is that obvious?
I think one positive to take, and I get what you mean. I totally agree with everything you've said there. But I think one sort of minor positive to take from it is the fact that it was the acknowledgement from the VAR officials that an egregious mistake had been made, because wasn't he due to be the VAR for another game on the weekend? but they took him out. So that's a kind of an admission on their part to say, yeah, we kind of mucked up there. So
But again,
he's.
the goal's gone, the points good. Yeah.
I get it. It's not a big thing, but there is some acknowledgement at least that, look, we dropped the ball massively there. But no, I mean, they do keep happening season on season.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. If this was a complete one-off, like, you know, when it happened with Liverpool,
Tottenham, that was the worst one. That was the worst example.
Worst. And
that was terrible.
Nothing's happened like that since, thank God. But it keeps happening. These absolutely terrible decisions in games, like the Chelsea game in the opening day. Again, yes, it benefited us, but it should never have been given as a foul in my eyes. It shouldn't have been. There was too many times where these really, really minute things are then being do you know what? Yeah, actually, I would call that a foul. Please stop. Like, just stop. Stop looking into it. What actually happened? Did it interfere with how they got from there to there? No. Then it's
like if that's considered a foul, I mean, it just means that, like, how often are they going to go back and look at a potential fit? Do you know what I mean? Like, just like stop it. There could be like a million instances of that in every game. You know, it's like, where is the line going to be drawn here? Like,
what was that game? I can't remember what one. I think it was like they were just going down the tunnel. I think it might not have been a Premier League, but another game where they were just about to go down the tunnel, but the ref stopped them. I think to go down the tunnel because they were checking if if they have to come back for a penalty at half time.
Oh yeah, that was last season. I think it was the. I don't know.
I'm sure it's this weekend. I'm sure.
Was it a Champions League game? I do remember it, but I don't remember who was playing in it or anything.
Yeah, but doesn't that prove a point? Like sitting and going, like they're going down the tunnel getting ready, and it's like, oh wait a minute, guys, give me a second, like 2 minutes. Like,
yes,
It's like if you're not getting it done before they go down the tunnel, it should just be no penalty and move on.
The biggest problem I have with all of this is that if VAR are bringing up these instances, that's completely up to them. If VAR want to bring up the incident where Muniz steps on Chalobah's foot and they say, oh, we need you to look at this because we think it's a foul, that's fine. If you want them to go have a look, that's fine.
No, I hate that.
The referee needs to make an actual decision and stop going with what VAR says.
Yeah, no, I agree. Whenever, oh god, it happens. It's inevitable every time the referee goes to the screen.
Yeah, you know it's going to be.
He's being told by the VAR, but he's being given a certain angle of a thing, and he's being told by the VAR, this is what we think, and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's every time they go to the screen, you know it's going to go. He's going to give the decision that VAR.
It's not 50-50.
It happens every time. Yeah,
like you're not going there going like they're actually going, okay, made a mistake, look at it and go, okay, no, I'll stick to my decision. You just know 9 times out of 10 you're going to be like.
It's so strange though. I mean, like, how can they never have a difference of opinion there? Like, why does the on-field ref never look at it and go, say, like a potential penalty check, like a foul or whatever inside the box? It's so weird that you never see the on-field ref look at the screen and go, nah, not for me. No, it's not a penalty. It never happens. He always goes with the VAR. Yeah, it's don't get it.
But doesn't it save their bacon as well? Like, because when it comes to with them, it's like if VAR's like was it making a decision, they can sit there going, well, I made a decision. Like it saves them a little bit.
Didn't Mike Dean said something last year which was actually quite exposing, and he probably shouldn't have said it. Whereby he said, "Yeah, sometimes you want to look out for your mate on the pitch. So sometimes you will kind of alter decision, or not alter decision, but like not what you won't want your mate, the on-field ref. You won't want to make him look foolish. So do you know what I mean? It's like that kind of. He said, "Oh, yeah, that sometimes comes into it as well." It's like it shouldn't if it's a refereeing, an objective refereeing decision. You know, Jesus.
I understand. The thing is, like with trying to figure some technology used in other sports, like Hawkeye. It's definitive. It's either out or in.
Like in tennis, yeah.
Same with cricket. Some of the technology used in that, it's clear and evident. With football, I understand it's based on opinion, but it seems like the referees on that pitch, the opinion is sapped from them once VAR gets involved, and they have to go with whatever is being shown to them.
It's what they use it for. I think the problem with VAR is what they use it for. I think it's like they've used it for pretty much any instance that they get called up on. But I mean, example like the offside stuff. Yes, it could be like you say, like a toe or something really offside. If they just use it for that, and then maybe like 1 or 2 other decisions, right? But like that's the one, because obviously I'm sure that's the reason we've kind of brought it in, because of the ridiculous offsides and kind of like the goal and obviously the goal line stuff as well. But like, I just think the idea, like we're talking about. yeah, you're 100% right. When you look at the tackle, like one person can sit there and say that looks like a foul, and another person can sit and go, "No, that isn't."
Yeah.
It's like when there's opinions involved, then it shouldn't be like that's when the problems start with it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like the thing with Anthony Gordon against Liverpool the other day. Like, he was brilliant in that game, and then he got sent off for a challenge. And I'll my hands up. At first, I was like, "Oh, come on!" And then once VAR got involved,
It was dangerous. It was
dangerous.
Very dangerous. You saw the damage he could have done, and it was like, right, no,
perfect decision. Yeah.
So in that regard, yes, VAR does have its benefits, but that's an incident that had to be looked at. The whole going back and looking at stuff and going too far back, for me, it's like, no.
Yeah. Do you reckon it would help if they had like a time elapsed thing? If there's been a certain amount of time elapsed between a foul and, something like that? Oh, that was 10 seconds, maybe allow a 10-second buffer, 7-second buffer, something like that. I don't know.
I think the at the moment, what it is the moment. So, say for example, I don't know, like a Man United player is fouled by a Fulham player.
Yeah.
They once the ball, they continue getting on with the game, and then say, I don't know, the Fulham player's taken the shot, it's then gone out for a corner. I think that because that's the whole period.
A sequence. It's a sequence. Yeah.
Once the corner is taken, they can't then go back.
No, yeah, then it's done.
So
Yeah. I think there is an element of that already, yeah, but I don't know.
But personally, for me, I actually think what they should be doing is bring in a, like in tennis where you can challenge.
I've always been a little bit wary and skeptical of that. No, because look, how massive some of these games are for these teams. If you use up a challenge, if you use say for example your 2 challenges per half, you use up your second challenge, and then there's a terrible decision, and you can't challenge it.
It's very American. It's very American football, because that's what timeouts are. Right? Like you use them like sparingly to like go, okay, we need to stop. Like with that, it's like it's like it'd be like. Yeah, you can sit there.
I get the reach. I noticed. I heard one once where it was like, the manager should be allowed to decide whether or not to challenge. It's like, how do you know? How would he know? You would just challenge every day. You just use it up in the first 2 seconds.
He's too busy managing the side, tactical the side, doing subs. Then all of a sudden he's got to decide referee decisions. Like, it's not. No.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go. Go on.
I was just going to say, what about the way a really contentious offside call? Those ones where they take ages to draw the lines, and there was one at the weekend that took ages. I forget, it might have been the Arsenal Liverpool one, actually, I can't remember. It took ages to draw the lines. What about if you can't decide or you can't figure it out within a minute, then it goes to the home team, the decision, or something like that. I don't know.
I do agree sort of with what you're saying. I get it in a way.
Just for the time it takes sometimes,
when an incident happens, rather than constantly replaying until they make their decision, what you're saying is instead of, if you're not 100% sure, you have to stick with the on-field decision, and that's it, done.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Because sometimes it takes a while, and I mean, look, I know there are other things in that, like, that take time, but VAR's just one of those.
I mean, how many times you've seen offsides, sitting there, was it the eye test and looking at it going, like, that looks onside? And then all of a sudden it's like they do the line and the special graphics, and it's like, he's just like this. I think, like, if it looks onside.
Semi-automated is so much better. Semi-automated, keep it now. If that works, no one can argue with it. Just keep it now. It works. I'd rather that. But let's just put a time limit on how long you're looking at an incident for. Because it was like, what was the one? It was like there was a bit in the Fulham game where there was 4 incidences in the box, and they actually got every single one of them right, because all of them would have been really petty fouls.
Mm-hmm.
But the easiest one out of the entire game, they got completely wrong.
Yeah.
So you won't remember the good stuff. Like, that's the problem. Yeah. It's always the case, isn't it?
Do you know what I'm getting kind of sick of? Is every match now has, at least one of the sides has like 7 or 8 or 9 minutes of extra of added time. It's just so annoying. Do you know what I think? Stop the clock. It would eliminate all, and it would stop time wasting as well. It seems like such a simple implementation to bring in. Just stop the clock whenever the ball goes out of play, there's an injury or something like that. When you have 3 or 4 VAR decisions, you have 2 maybe slightly severe injuries, goals, time wasting, all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, sometimes you end up with like 12 minutes. Not all the time, obviously, but like 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes of added time. It just seems redundant. Just stop the clock. Just stop the clock. It just seems so easier.
I mean, I'll just go back to the days when it used to be. Like, it used to be what the maximum you used to get when about added times, like what, 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. A bit more. Honestly. So now it's 11. I mean, obviously, I can't be saying it's all bad because obviously we've won a game because it's 11 minutes added on. So I can't totally be against the idea. But but I see what you mean. It's like I want to go back to the days of. Like it's like you go on and go, 5 minutes, that's fine. But like, 11, I think.
It's sometimes some games during the Euros last summer, there was somewhere it was like 13, 14 minutes, like an entire half of extra time or something. It's just insane. But anyway,
but I think obviously we'll finish the VAR there. We've for a little bit there. But I think one of the things we'll definitely need to go over is obviously we're now moving into the international break now, so. Obviously, it means the boring part of the season has now started again, where we've got, we've just come back into the Premier League. Everyone's so excited for it to get going. We only have 3 games, and then we have to have international break. Can't get
2 weeks off. Like basically, it's like we've had like a whole summer, and it's like 3 games. I'm really into this, and it's like, oh no, we've got 2 weeks.
I know, it's so annoying.
World Cup qualifiers and. That's always exciting.
Well, that's something at least. At least it's not just bloody friendlies and stuff. There is some,
Yes. No, I agree. Yes. But going into the international break, I think if I could say which team would be the most happiest going into the international break.
Which club you mean? Or which?
Yeah, like the ones be the happiest with how the season's gone so
far. Right.
You'd say, Liverpool? Obviously,
I want to pick someone. I'm trying to pick someone that maybe I would say someone like Everton. 2 wins out of 3.
Yeah.
They're looking good.
Chelsea. I'd say Sunderland.
Sunderland probably the pick of the bunch. But I think Liverpool obviously. Sunderland, who a lot of people's picks to go down, and they've won 2 of their 3 games.
There you go. So. I think another team, a bit outside the box thinking here, but another team I would actually say is West Ham. They lost their first 2. But
they needed that win. Oh my God! Yes.
For a 3-0, and I tell you what, Pot must be sitting there thinking, "Thank you."
Yeah, absolutely. Results like that will not come very often, but when and if they will come, they will be very needed.
It did come out of nowhere that goal was out of West Ham because it's like
no one had West Ham. No one had West Ham winning that game, especially not by 3 goals to 0.
Well, not on the forwards. I think I was keeping an eye on it because obviously. As I do, and I've watched some. It's like not the first, like we're on top, doing well as you expect at home, and then all of a sudden I'm like, just refresh it for like, a couple minutes, and it's like what 3-0. Like, well, where's this come from? And all like 7 minutes. It's ridiculous. It's like where's this West Ham been all season?
Yeah.
But
it's interesting that Nottingham Forest did dominate that game, and it is a shame they didn't actually get anything out of it, but. West Ham took advantage. 7 minutes, they went for it, and well done to them. I'll be honest, I don't think that it's going to make too much of a difference in how their season's going to go. I still think Potter's not going to get through this season at all. I don't even think he's going to make it to Christmas, in all honesty. But I would say they've got to be the happiest going into that international break.
Yeah. Do you know who I think? Do you know what set of fans I think will be slightly on a downer? Will be Spurs fans, because they got the 2 win, especially the second game, the huge win against City on a high, haven't conceded a goal, look really, really sharp. Frank, in his new side, whatever. And then they lose at home to Bournemouth. It's like the kind of first Spursy moment we've seen from Spurs this season, where they beat a major side and then they lose. It didn't happen last season where they beat City 4-0 and then they lost to like Ipswich or Leicester at home or something like that the very next week.
I think it was Leicester. I think it was Leicester.
I think it was Leicester. Yeah, it was like just the most unexpected. It should have been because it was Spurs. But I mean, and they'll always have that kind of thing about them, that Spursy element to them. But I think they'll be not even to get a draw against Bournemouth. They'll be like, oh God, we started the season so well, and that was disappointing. But
especially with all like was it through Foden's goal score and everything in the first 2 games, and obviously the first, and obviously was it that game not even conceded obviously, but then to not score at all, Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like what happened? What happened? Yeah.
But I think two teams definitely who need this break now is Aston Villa and Wolves.
Oh yeah, what's going on with
Neither
Villa? By
team
the
have
way, good God.
really had a good start at all to the season. Villa, I think, as we knew, Carl was really not pleased with the start, and obviously with all the things going on at the club at the minute, it is very interesting to see them so low down in the table at this stage of the season.
They're bottom, aren't they? Oh no, Wolves are bottom. They're
19th.
second bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to start about?
Wolves
Do you want to start
and-
about Villa? Do you want to start about
Go
Villa?
on.
They're the only side in the top four divisions in England yet to score a goal.
No.
Yeah.
So everyone has scored bar them.
Yeah.
Even Wolves, even I love that. Even Wolves have scored goals.
I know.
And they're bottom.
Even Grimsby scored. Even Grimsby at the bottom of League 2 have bloody scored. And not Villa.
We like Grimsby.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
Anyway, but I've got this is my favourite stat from the weekend, and I have to say when I saw it, I could not believe it. Right, this is it. The first 2 goals for Manchester United this season were both own goals. They are the first team in Premier League history to ever do this. That for me.
Really?
That's
a great one. That's a great one.
This team
Yeah, I was
history
thinking, like,
makers, you know.
Jesus,
This team is like history makers, like there. You know?
Yeah, they get all the wrong records. Like I was thinking, if this match like ends 1-1 or if Burnley win, it's like not only do we not get 3 points, our players can't score. Please, Jesus Christ!
But the one thing I love about when teams score own goals is that I get it if it's a last minute winner and it ends up being an own goal and you benefit, you win the game.
Yeah.
I get why your players go bananas. I don't get it why players go bananas when it's like halfway through the game it's an own goal. I'm like, it's an own goal. You score it. Like calm down a little bit, mate.
No.
Well, it could be worse though, because I think I remember like the early 2000s. I think like when Sunderland were really bad. Like they scored had a record of scored scored 3 own goals in a game. Like one you can one you can excuse, but 3, that's just really
and there's been a few players who have scored more than 1 own goal in a game, but yeah, that's a great stat. I never knew that they were the first side to do that. Either. That's a great one.
I think my favourite stat will always be Jonathan Walters in a Premier League game.
Oh,
and he
the
was
2 own
playing
goals?
Chelsea. I remember this. Yeah, he scored 2 own goals in the game and missed a penalty.
He should have gotten sent off just for the crack, just to kind of. What's the lowest amount of points? What's the fewest amount of points I can accumulate on?
I think he actually did, because I remember he scored the 2 own goals. They were both from corners, and he scored the own goals. And then he, I believe this was the season Peter Crouch scored that wonder goal against Man
City. Yeah.
Walters took the ball. And he was like, I want to score a penalty. I've had such a bad game. I want to score a penalty. And I remember he stood up for it. And I was like, he's going to make up for it now. And he smashed the crossbar. And you just thought,
what a clown.
Fan, I was like, mate, I feel sorry for you. You just cannot get any worse than that. So, yeah. But the one thing we didn't ask, so we'll finish it on this. The one thing we didn't ask is, Stu, who is your signing of the season for Liverpool?
Oh, I guess it's a bit more harder for me than I guess you guys, I guess. But I mean, obviously you could sit there and say the obvious one would be obviously minus Gahey and Isak. Obviously we haven't seen them play yet. You probably say just by the insignificant intent, you probably say Wirtz. But I think if you look at it by performance and what he's done, like off the radar, I'll probably say Hugo Ekitike is probably at the moment, like signing the summer so far, because he's kind of come in, kind of everyone's like kind of. You still had that ridiculous kind of was it shot conversion rates that apparently people use, and everyone was like he's going to be this and that, and then he's turned up. He scored 3 goals if you count the Community Shield, 3 goals and 3, really good. Looks really looks like he's really adapted to being in the team quite quickly, and I think obviously this probably answer will change at the end of the season if Gahey Ekitike starts, but I think. You would go for Wirtz, but he started a bit iffy. But I would say Ekitike. I say he's the son of Sam at the moment.
Yeah.
Well,
what are you smirking at, Matt? What are you smirking at?
So well, I've just had a look on Sky Sports News just to see what anything that's happened.
Gay
later
transfer
on.
falls through. Isak breaks
it's
ankle on way to training ground.
Yeah,
It
says Liverpool's proposed signing of Mark Gahey fell through after Crystal Palace withdrew from the deal late on, having missed out on the preferred replacement they had hoped to sign. Oh, Stu.
You know whose fault this is.
Is that actually true? Are you just wondering? Is that actually true?
I'm serious. Look, hang on. Look.
Oh, brilliant.
But you know whose fault this is, don't you?
Oh my God, yes.
It's West Ham's fault because they decided to buy the player that was supposed to be the replacement, but he rejected Palace to go to West Ham.
No, you definitely.
It's fine. We'll probably we'll do what we did with Van Dijk. We'll wait 6 months and get him in January.
It's good for Palace. Good for Palace. Hey,
it's fine.
But in the meantime, as well, the Donnarumma signing has now been confirmed for 26 million from PSG. He's signed a 5-year deal with an option of a further year. City have also finished the deal with Fenerbahce to sell Edison for 12 million. So that's also gone through.
Here's one for you. See how have you got your fingers on the pulse of the transfers? Do you guys know which league, firstly, Vardy joined today and which team he's playing for?
Oh, yeah. He went to a Sally haven't he? Like, the team just got promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they won their first 2 games as well, apparently.
I found it hilarious because obviously rumours gone around he's going to he's going to go to Celtic, and you would think, well, go to Celtic, probably get get a league title and all that, but then it's like he's gone, nah, I'm going to go to a newly promoted Italian team that just got no one knows who they are. If that's not a Vardy move, I don't know what.
I think it's good. I think it's great. I'm actually delighted for him that he's actually getting a game in another league, just to see. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on there. I thought
he deserved it. He was
absolutely
good footballer, and to see him getting that experience abroad is definitely worth it. Let's hope. Could he produce another fairy tale in Italy? Let's.
Oh my God! Imagine winning the league with another promoted side in a different country. Like, imagine top scorer.
Legend status is already there, but if he does it with that, it's like he's gone through the stratosphere. What if he did that?
It's in his DNA. It's in his DNA.
They've already beaten AC Milan this season, apparently. So they started off well.
There you go. It could happen. Just saying.
One or two other things that went through it that might have seen that were just today. I think Højlund got a loan deal at Napoli for a year. Jackson, your fella Jackson off to Bayern as well for a loan. I think on a loan.
Oh, is that actually happened now?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, I think it's been confirmed.
I don't know. Apparently, I think they've been was it called a transfer? Is it sheet or something? Like, it goes through at 7, but you've got like 2 hours. I don't know. Why can't they just do what they used to do and leave it at midnight? Just do what they used to do.
To be honest, I'm actually glad that he's got that move because, if it has actually gone through,
they bought him. There wasn't a loan. Sorry, it's not a loan.
So it's permanent. He's gone there, is it?
Yeah, 70 million.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, I'm actually very pleased because when Delap got injured and then straight away it was announced that they were going to pull out the transfer, I did think, okay, yes, I'm glad because I love Jackson. I think that getting rid of him is silly. I'm gutted he has gone, but that was Chelsea's decision to sell him. Like, that was your decision. The player was ready to go. He's gone. You can't. For me, no. You've made a decision. Let him go. And I'm glad that we've managed to call back our other striker from Sunderland and get him back instead. Because for me, Jackson, he's good enough to play at a big team, and getting that move. He won't start ahead of Kane.
70 million is a lot for Jackson, though. Do you not think? A little bit bloated.
I'm surprised that Newcastle didn't go for him. I'm surprised Newcastle didn't go for him. In all honesty.
He was linked with United for a bit as well.
Yeah, but someone with Premier League experience has scored more than 10 goals in a Premier League season as well. He knows how to play here and everything. Maybe he didn't fit in with the way Eddie Howe plays. Maybe that's the only thing I can think of. Yeah. That's the reason as to why. But yeah, it does look like that the big news coming out of this transfer window late on is obviously Gahey not going through.
Oh, brilliant!
Funny thing is, it's nothing. It's not on our end. It's like we've done all that, but
But I love
Palace
throughout
is
this
basically-
podcast, we've been saying, you know what, between Isak and Gahey is the far more important transfer. You know, so it's fallen through. Oh, brilliant!
We had drama in the transfer, the deadline day, and we had drama in the podcast because it started off so well, and then all of a sudden it ended with it's like disappointment.
Yeah.
Now we just need to Isak to walk into Melwood training ground and snap his ankle somehow. That'd be great, just to polish it off.
Oh, do you know what I want right now? I want to see Alexis Sanchez style signing now when he signed for Man United, playing the piano.
Yeah.
All of this hype, and then I don't know, like
what,
you say,
what was that? Like?
What have I joined?
Yeah,
please, that's what I would love. I do love Liverpool's too. I
mean, okay, I see. I remember all this stuff, I remember. But yeah, I mean, again, don't be surprised in January because they still have to want. They still want the money. Don't be surprised if you get him in January. So, but would it be nice to have him now? But
we've said all of this, and I think the one thing that we have actually missed out on, and I'm a bit disappointed in Newcastle for doing this as well, is that yes, they had all that thing with Isak. They had it all go on, and let's be honest, it was very unprofessional by the player, and Newcastle, I think, dealt with it in the right way. But then they brought in Wissa, a player that's done the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's like it's okay for them to player to do it to them to join them, but it's not okay that a player to leave them. It's like I mean, it just shows Newcastle as like it's one of those. Newcastle comes across as a club at the moment that wants to be on the a big player on the big table, but because it's not patient enough. Because obviously they're going for players that. Give them a couple of years, and then the kind of players that they're being linked with, and that more likely players will go to them. But they've got like 1 year in Champions League, on and off, and it's like, would you want to? They do come across as quite naive a little bit, Newcastle a little bit, because obviously because of some of the trying to think they're bigger than they are. They're not there yet. Give them a couple of years, they might be, but the impatience maybe. But I think that's why the way they dealt with the Isak thing is like he could have dealt with better. It was a Newcastle definitely.
I would love to know down the years, and you never really do find out the full unless they release a book or something. But we never really find how much was it. Or how much was the club's fault? How much was it the players' fault?
What was the agreement? That's caused a verbal agreement.
Exactly. Because there was this kind of back and forth. This whole thing, but.
We'll get it in his autobiography when it comes out in a couple of years. All the truth will come out.
Yeah. Isak in the morning or something, some awful porn or something like that.
I like that one.
But I really don't think Newcastle would have had any sort of moral dilemma about like, oh well, should we go for Wissa now because he basically did the same thing as our outgoing player. But no, not at all, because Wiss is available and he's good. So there's very few morals left in football. There's more money speaks louder than morals.
It's the best transfer window we've had in a very long time because we've seen a lot of big names move. Yeah. I think it would be fair to say we are in for one big season in the Premier League, and let's hope that it does live up to the expectation with all the money spent. But if I could see one thing happen, is that my predictions become correct come the end of the season. Mission Impossible Arsenal, but please win the league over.
Come on, the arse. Up the arse.
I cannot have Stu being as smug as he was last season. That's not happening again.
I love this. Yeah.
Oh, don't say that. That's what's going to happen now, man.
You've cursed it now. I mean, I think as I keep saying, like Gary Neville's done it for 3 years in a row, and it hasn't. And he's sticking to his guns just by pure principle. So. Might happen, but if anything, with that performance, it will. Like all this stuff, like I don't know, 20 points clear. We could all slip up. We could still slip up.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's what he's going to be doing, isn't it? So
It's as I said, it's not nice to be on the other end, is it? Because obviously I've always been on the other side of like, all the other fans. Like, so it's nice. It's nice at the moment. It's good.
I'll give you credit. You've had to put up with, like I say, David and Gog, Voronin, and all these sort of players. It's now Man United's turn with
Paul Konchesky. That's another one.
Paul Konchesky.
The Roy Hodgson era. That like that was just like bottom of the barrel. That one, that was horrible.
Do you know whose turn it is to win a league title is Spurs? Do you know what I would like? Do you know sometimes you kind of just fantasize about, like, God, imagine that actually happened, what the reaction would be. Imagine if Spurs won the league this season ahead of Arsenal. Just the reaction of Arsenal fans would be hilarious.
Arsenal TV would be the most must-watch thing if that happens.
Yeah,
if Spurs win the league, this is what will happen. This is how the season will go. If Spurs were to win the league, they would be there on the final day of the season, and they would be second in the table. They would be the first team to win the Premier League on the final day season, starting off second in the table.
With Arsenal top to pip Arsenal at the top. Oh yes,
that is how.
Please, oh my God, man, that would be the best thing ever.
After Christmas, and like something like that.
Arteta would leave on the spot. He just say, I'm off. That's too embarrassing.
On the tunnel with the owners, it just say, here's my resignation now.
Yeah, see you, mate. Yeah, Thomas Frank statue gets erected in seconds. Yeah, like everything.
But
oh my
I'm telling you now, what would actually happen if Spurs were ever in the title race again, like they were when Leicester won the league? We all know how it would happen. What? They would be in a 2-horse race, all the way to the end, and
come third. Yeah.
They're very good at that. They're very good at it.
I mean, were they in that title race with Leicester though? Like, were they?
There were periods though. There was a bit of a gap. I think there was like a gap of 6 or 7 points. It wasn't a huge chasm, but they were never.
I mean,
that close, I guess.
Maybe we can all thank. I never hear myself say these words often, but maybe you can thank Chelsea for that, because obviously they ended it by beating them.
That's right.
And then Leicester won the league, so. It's a thing I'll say, but yeah, maybe we have to thank Chelsea for that one, because
it's a nice thing to say. It's a nice thing to say. Thank you very much, Stu.
Don't sit there and say I'm not a nice person sometimes when it comes to when it comes to Chelsea. I'm not.
You are learning that we are the home of football. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
that's not what.
Oh no, buddy. No.
And on that note, I will say goodbye. All right then. So we'll see you next week. Obviously, we have got the international break, so we will be going over some of that next week. But we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. See you later.